Good morning. It's December 5th, and this is your daily brief in climate change. Here's everything you need to know. A Human Rights Watch report reveals high levels of air pollution in the UAE, largely attributed to the fossil fuel industry, causing around 1,872 deaths annually. The UAE government attributes the pollution to sandstorms, but the report implicates oil and gas operations as the main cause. The report also points out the risks and limited freedom for those criticizing the air pollution situation. Rockefeller Foundation has initiated a pilot scheme for retiring a coal power plant in the Philippines through carbon credits, backed by France and Japan. UAE banks pledged to mobilize $200 billion in green finance, and Barbados's PM proposes global taxes on financial services and fossil fuel profits to support climate funds. The 28th Global Climate Conference in Dubai is centered on the impact of fossil fuels on the environment. A British medical journal study links fossil fuel usage to over 5 million deaths annually due to air pollution. Conference negotiations have largely ignored this issue despite the urgency to address health implications of climate change. Experts suggest that replacing fossil fuels with renewable energy could prevent an estimated 1 million deaths annually. The climate crisis significantly impacts global health, causing extreme weather events, diseases, malnutrition, heat stress, and mental illness. The Lancet Countdown report indicates that health impacts are escalating, with vulnerable groups such as adults over 65 and infants under 1 particularly affected. Africa accounted for 94% of the world's malaria cases in 2019, indicating severe climate-related health impacts. Despite these impacts, only a small percentage of climate and adaptation funds are dedicated to health. The recent African Climate Summit called for a collective approach to address climate change, securing commitments of nearly $26 billion, but none was allocated to climate and health interventions. The COP28 presidency has developed a declaration on climate and health, needing more endorsement, especially from African nations. Global climate adaptation and mitigation financing need to prioritize the health impacts of climate change, and a transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy is necessary. Health systems must be strengthened and adapted to address climate-related health risks, ensuring no community is left behind. Policymakers are urged to review and implement existing policies in line with the Paris Agreement. The village of Ittoqqortoormiit in eastern Greenland risks losing its fresh water supply due to ice melt from climate change. The Arctic is experiencing temperatures rising up to 4 times faster than the global average. Melting ice is making traditional seal hunting more difficult and dangerous, and is pushing polar bears closer to human settlements. The receding glaciers are causing a decline in nutrients for the ecosystem, affecting the polar cod population. Researchers have discovered a snow algae responsible for 12% of the total annual surface melt of the Greenland ice sheet. The algae's growth is accelerated by rising temperatures, creating a vicious circle of melting. Scientists warn that the complete ecosystem could disappear if action is not taken to address climate change. Severe flooding in East Africa has resulted in hundreds of deaths and displaced over 1 million people. The affected countries include Somalia, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. The El Niño and Indian Ocean dipole weather phenomena are largely responsible for the heavy rains. Kenya has been particularly impacted with 136 deaths and nearly 500,000 people displaced. The Horn of Africa is one of the most vulnerable regions to climate change, experiencing both droughts and floods. United Nations reported rising death tolls in Somalia, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. Aid agencies are struggling due to damaged infrastructure and the rise of waterborne diseases. The situation underscores the need for urgent climate change action. Heavy rains in northern Tanzania have caused severe flooding and landslides, resulting in deaths and injuries. The extreme weather is attributed to the El Niño and Indian Ocean dipole phenomena and is believed to be worsened by climate change. The city of Katesh and Mount Hanang area have been heavily affected, with rescue operations ongoing and destruction of houses, roads, and bridges. Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan has ordered relief efforts and expressed condolences. The opposition party is advocating for improved early warning systems. The floods have displaced hundreds of thousands of people and destroyed farmland. Other East African countries are also experiencing severe flooding due to El Niño. This has been your daily brief in climate change. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates at www.brief.news. And for more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit www.brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.